if you're working for an agency, it's handy to, what you need to do is have an account for each client, like the way that I just described. And then each client can have multiple properties. The reason is because each client should have full access to their own account. So the first thing we do is we get set up. So this is kind of like 101 terminology. And this could be useful for, I think maybe the most practical application for all of you might be just coworkers or other partners that you might work with in terms of making sure that you have the proper access, giving them access, and those kinds of things. Or if you do work for an agency, like we've had, actually I don't think there's any like digital agencies in here, but in the past we've had several other digital agencies come to this class, so this part was really relevant to them. But anyway, you'll go to analytics.google.com, so this would be how you would access it if you already have Google Analytics. And if you're logged in with your Gmail account, or if your business account is a G Suite or Google account, then you're good to go and you can just use that account as your Google Analytics account. And if you've never signed up before, you go ahead and click sign up, and again you'll need a Gmail account. And the thing that's a little bit confusing is that, so you've got this email account that powers like the top level of it, but then there's also a new Google Analytics account that you're setting up. And so I like to kind of say email is at the top. That's how you log in. Then you get an account, but under your account, you're allowed to have different things that are called properties and then views. So I'll kind of show you guys more about this. And we'll talk about the purpose of this. So like Stewart Transportation, for example, is a good one to talk about. So they've got a few different websites. They have a website for their parking business, they have a website for their transportation business, they have a few different internal websites that they use for apps for their clients. So they have something where it's called Live Count, where at an event, they'll count how many people load onto different buses and ride different routes. And so that's its own Google Analytics property. The transportation website is its own property, and the parking website is its own property, etc. And so, and ProFastPitch is another good example. They've got a TV website where they stream the live stream, and they've got a championship website, and they've got the main website. So those can all be set up as properties under the one account. If you're working for an agency, it's handy to, what you need to do is have an account for each client, like the way that I just described. And then each client can have multiple properties. The reason is because each client should have full access to their own account. And so if an agency, or if you're kind of functioning as an agency where you're trying to like set up different, if you set up different businesses as properties under an account, then that's going to be where you'll run into, and I'll review all of this. But in the initial setup, what you're going to want to do is create a new account. That would be your business. So like for Beetle, for example, you might end up having Google Analytics on your internal app. You might have it on, you have it on your current website. And then like, you might be, since you're an entrepreneur, like you might be thinking, hey, we might want to start this spin up business one day. Well, you would just set those up, each up as properties. So think of like, your account is your umbrella business. You can have 100 accounts. So you can have 100 umbrella businesses. So this is where it's handy for an agency, because an agency might have 100 separate clients. There's no need for them to have one account with clients as properties. Then they're gonna kind of get in trouble with that. So then, basically, it's as easy as like signing up, creating an account. As soon as you create an account, you automatically have a property. So you have a property. The property is your website. So that's going to give you tracking code, and then you're going to go ahead and place that tracking code into your website. And so you can see here that here's the tracking code that you get for your property. And then in the tracking code, you have a UA number that stands for Universal Analytics.